Hello, this is World Class Stamp. This is part 2 of our 3-part series with Jermaine Beckford. We're going to be talking about the season so far, VAR, and what's going on with Everton Football Club. Remember to like and subscribe. We'll get back to you.
The psychology side of football, something that interests a lot of fans, is like preparing yourself mentally for a game. How did you get yourself ready for a match day? And was there any kind of things we talked about, like that kind of mental battle between a goalkeeper? Did you study the opposition goalkeeper?
All
like
the time.
Favorite
Every
positions?
goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Every goalkeeper. I used to watch what they did in one-on-one situations and in penalty situations. Anything else I wasn't bothered about. Yeah. Coming out to claim corners and all that, I'm not interested in that stuff. Yeah. But I wanted to know what they would be like in a one-on-one situation against the forward. So when I say that, I mean Peter Cech, for example. Like, I know that he spreads himself wide, he likes to go down, and he's got a favourite side that he likes to dive on. I know that Jordan Pickford, having worked with him, Tim Howard, having worked with him, the way they like to close down. Jordan stays upright, but he spreads himself and his right leg goes at the back and his left leg goes straight. I know this, but all of the other goalkeepers, I didn't really know. Defenders, I'm not really that bothered about because it's just a matter of trying to outsmart them, outwit them.
Instinctive, isn't it?
It's instinctive, yeah. Like you go forward to go backwards, you go backwards to go forwards. So, and anything could happen in any moment. They could slip. And that gives you an opportunity to, an advantage over them. So I used to watch clips of goalkeepers and the last 4 or 5 games, how many goals they've conceded, how they've conceded, and what their reactions were to conceding. Because some goalkeepers, if they concede a goal, you could just see them go, oh, damn it, it's going to be one of those days. So I'll be able to jump on that and get another one nice and early, nice and quickly. So I used to watch video clips of them. So if we travel from here down to Crystal Palace, for example, I'm sitting on the coach and I'm just watching the clips back and then slowing them down and pausing them and watching them, just mentally preparing myself. Everybody's got a weakness. It's just a matter of finding out what that weakness is and how you can exploit that. And that was one of the things that I like doing. So that's how I prepared for each game. Obviously, the most preparation is done during the week in training. Match days are fun days. And that's how I used to enjoy it. If I was smiling when I got off the coach, you better believe me, I'm going to score. That's it. I just know. Yeah. If I wasn't smiling, then it means I'd have spoken to my missus not too long. But I'm joking. Laura, I'm sorry. I'm joking.
We'll edit that out.
Yeah. But look, it's, you know what it is sometimes it's just about the situations. Like, we're the underdogs in a lot of games, right? We're the underdogs here. We got no pressure. The pressure's on them. So let's go out there and have some fun. If we're the favourites, okay, we're the favourites. Let's prove why we're the favourites. And that was my outlook.
Any keeper particularly frustrate you one day afternoon, and you couldn't score past him, or anyone who particularly stuck
Aurelio
out?
Gomez.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, he did my bloody beaning.
Was that because he was
He was
random
massive.
and a bit random, I guess, with his movements?
Like, he was so unorthodox.
Yeah.
Like, I would watch videos of him and I'd say to myself, I've got this guy. I've got him. And then I play against him. And he'd just do something really random. He'd go, way! And then go the other way. And I'm thinking, what? Where's that come from? Yeah. I remember where was he? Was he at Blackburn or somewhere? It might have been somewhere like that. I can't remember where. And I was through one-on-one with him. And I took the ball to the right just enough. The goal's there, so I took the ball over here enough so I can chip it over him with my right foot. I chipped it over him. He was on the floor and he just went ping. It must have been 11 feet high. I don't know how he's reached it. He's flicked it up and over the bar.
Yeah.
And one of the defenders cleared it off the line, and I've just looked at him and he went, hey, what can you do to that? Like, I'm supposed to be pissed. I'm not upset anymore. I think this is funny. But I can't laugh because the gaffer will look at me and say, he's laughing when he missed a chance. I'm going to sub him off.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, him. Yeah. But what a man as well. What a man. Absolutely hilarious guy. Top man as well. Top man, top professional.
So what do you think of your teams you played for? What do you think you're going to do this season?
There's a few fighting for...
down.
It's bizarre, right? So in the championship, my old clubs, Leeds, Leicester, both going for automatic promotion.
Yeah.
Preston on the cusp of the playoffs. I don't know
Bolton are top 3 as well,
Bolton as well, yep, in League One.
Yeah.
flying. They're doing well, so getting some really good results, actually. Really good. So I'd like to think that Leeds and Leicester will get promoted automatically. Bolton will get promoted automatically. Preston will get promoted via the playoffs. And it's tricky what's happening here at Everton.
Yeah.
It's really, really difficult.
Yeah.
The most important thing is that they match the results of Nottingham Forest. Whatever happens, it's going to happen to both of them. So if it's a point deduction, it'll be to both of them. And if you've matched Nottingham Forest results, having been above them in the league, currently above them in the league, Forest are going to be the team that get relegated if Luton end up leapfrogging.
Yeah.
However, I was at Old Trafford last weekend when I watched Man United v Everton, and had it not been for two stupid penalties that have been given away, a 0-0 result there was not actually a bad result. Performance-wise, they were really, really good, Everton. Quite aggressive, especially in the first half an hour of the game. Like, more than I've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah.
So I want to say that Everton will be fine. I do think Everton will be fine.
Yeah. For me, I think they lack a goal scorer, Jermaine
Yes.
Beckford or something like that.
I heard he's at Goodson Park.
We'll get you a deal now.
Where's that contract again?
But
that's the only area I feel like
Yeah.
they're struggling. They've got the third or fourth most clean sheets in the Premier League this season.
Yeah.
So when you look at it from that perspective, Sean Dyche has done absolute wonders there.
Yeah.
There's only so much he can do from the sidelines when Everton are creating lots of chances, lots of opportunities, but they're not putting the ball in the back of the net. He can't physically put the ball in the back of the net. So I do think he's the right man for the job. I think get a number 9 and a backup number 9, both who know where the back of the net is, proven goal scorers. Excuse me, proven goal scorers. I think this is definitely a club mid-table pushing on to the back end of like a European spot. But the goal scoring aspect is vital.
Yeah. Got to put the ball in the onion bag, as they say. Yeah.
I mean, it's easy for some.
So we get touching into sort of current Premier League players there. Any that you would class as world class or potentially could get to world class? What's your opinion on some of the names that we hear?
KDB, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne, mate. Come on.
Yeah.
Phil Foden.
How many
Haaland,
goals?
Obviously.
How many goals did you score if Kevin De Bruyne was feeding you every game?
How many goals a game?
How many goals did you score? Yeah.
Because that's the question.
Yeah.
How many goals a game would you score with
Yeah.
Kev De Bruyne playing behind you? Mate, he's a phenomenon. Genuinely phenomenon. And when you think about like this season, for example, he's been out for a large majority of it. And he came back, his first game, he got like 4 assists.
Yeah.
I know. Mental.
Unreal.
But like he changes games, and that's the epitome of being a world-class player. You have to do something different in your own way. And he does that. He sees things that even for us from up here in the stands, we're watching, we're like, how the hell did he see that from that level? Yeah. Some people have just got it. He's just got it. Phil Foden is very much a player that's on the right path. Special talent.
Yes.
Special talent. I'm so glad, like a few years back, there were talks about this young kid called Phil Foden breaking into the Man City first team, possibly needing some game time away from Man City, a loan spell away. Mm-hmm. I was sitting there thinking, no, I genuinely don't think that's the right idea, the right option, because in front of him at the moment, the players that he's watching in training, obviously Kev De Bruyne, but he's got David Silva, he's got Aguero in front of him with the movement, he's got
Toure probably. Maybe
Yaya Toure was there, and then Fernandinho.
Yeah.
And mate, I'm watching these players in front of him, and I'm saying to myself, if he could watch these guys on a daily basis and learn from them, even if he doesn't get to their level, he's still going to be an incredible football player.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's stayed. He's progressed and become this wonderful world beater of a football player, and he's only getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he's bringing lots of goals into his game as well as assists, and as well as the assist to the assist.
Yeah.
He often gets grouped with Saka, Grealish.
Yeah.
I mean, England have got a
And Jude Bellingham as well.
Jude Bellingham,
What a player
an
he
array
is.
of
Yeah.
It's incredible,
talent.
isn't
The
it?
midfield is out of this world at the moment.
Incredible.
It's gotta be
How'd you
Up,
get
up
all
there with the
them-
best in the world.
Yeah.
How do you get him in? Can you get him in the same team?
What?
I mean,
Yes.
I was going to say you're going to have to try,
Yes.
but it's yeah.
2 defenders.
2-8-1, yeah.
You put Kyle Walker at the back with
he's
John Stones.
He's immense, yeah.
Right? Leave those 2 at the back in the middle, and everybody else just go. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Look,
Probably could.
with you could. What I would say is Declan Rice as a 6, and then you've got Phil Foden, Joby, Jude Bellingham in the midfield, the 3 in the middle, right? You've got Saka on one side. You've got, I would go Anthony Gordon
Okay.
on the left-hand side.
Not Rashford, not...
No, absolutely not.
Grealish,
He's
okay.
been way out of form. Way out of form. Jack Grealish, way out of form. Injuries. He's just not. He's not there. Marcus Rashford has got all the ingredients to be a world-class player. He really has. But there's something that's not quite clicking with him over the last 2 years or so, and that's frustrating.
Yeah.
But it's also a little bit worrying as well. I think he needs somebody in his corner to rein him in a little bit and just redirect him and refocus him. It just seems like he's slightly off calibration at the moment.
Do you think a move might help him out there?
Yes.
Because,
Yes.
the
The expectations and the pressure that comes with playing for Manchester United, arguably one of the biggest football clubs in the world, are humongous. There's no hiding place.
Yeah.
There's no hiding place. So by moving to a PSG, for example, don't get me wrong, massive football club, nowhere near the size of Manchester United, nowhere near the expectations of Manchester United. Man United should be in the Champions League every year, challenging for the Premier League title and challenging for the Champions League, challenging for the Champions League trophies every single year, but they're not.
Yeah.
And the pressure is on him. Players like him, Garnacho, Bruno Fernandes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hoyland. Now the pressure's on those boys, but I don't think they can handle it. They're not cut from the same cloth as the Roy Keanes, the Paul Inces, the David Beckhams, the Ruud van Nistelrooy. They're not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Just to touch on that Man United aspect there with Ineos, Jim Ratcliffe taking over 25% of the club. I hear Dougie Freeman, I think, was Dougie Freeman at Bolton when you were...
Yeah, I actually played with him at Leeds as well for a short time.
Yeah, he's been linked, obviously he
As-
works in the game as head of recruitment, I think.
Something like that, yeah. At Palace at the moment.
He
Yeah,
seems
yeah.
to be building a nice backroom staff at Man United to
Yeah.
compete again. I don't know what your opinion is on that. Do you think they're going to be back soon or maybe a few years later?
It won't be soon,
Okay.
but the most important thing for them, look, we touched on it before, they're a massive, massive football club, right?
Yeah.
So they have to start acting like it. And for them to act like it, they need people like Jim, who is a Manchester United fan as well. So he sees it not only from a business perspective, but he sees it from the other angles as well, from a fan-led perspective. What do we want to see? We want to see the best players.
Yeah.
We want to see, how do we get the best players? Oh, we need the best team of recruiters, the best director of football. We need the best managers. We need and the DOFs, the head of football, the coaches, they all come from the directors, the director of football. They've got to see and think about what happens on the pitch. And most importantly, the way to get the best players is by having the best people, the people with the contacts, the connections. Dougie is one of those people. Having spoken to him not too long ago, actually, I know that he's super passionate. He's super focused and driven as well. And, you know, he's always, as long as I've known him, he's always wanted to push himself a little bit further and be a little bit better than he was last year. And I think it will be a great move for him. A great move for him. It'll be a great move for them. But it'll be one of the first steps in them getting back to something similar to where they were. Yeah. Financially, they will never have a problem gaining money, raising money. They won't, because it's Manchester United. They're on the New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah.
You know, mate, come on.
Yeah, one of the biggest clubs in the
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if they want to raise £1 billion, not every club can do something like that.
Yeah.
And they won't be able to do it as quickly as Manchester United. So the most important thing is they sort the stadium out, and then they'll be able to bring in the better players, director of football, head of whatever it is. That's what they need to do. Just slowly but surely start building it from the top down. And then once they get to a certain point, they will be able to challenge Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal's again. But at the moment, they're fighting to get into that Europa League, the Champions League spots, aren't they? I don't think they've got enough.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that impacts clubs raising money is the TV deals. Recently, they've kind of talked about a couple of clubs rejecting helping out some of the lower teams. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it should just be a case of, every club for themselves, or you're someone who benefited from the pyramid system, you'd be able to start a career and then move up through the leagues? Do you think the Premier League clubs have an obligation to help support the Football League?
They don't have an obligation to, no. The obligation should lie with the FA, the EFL, the Premier League, rather than the actual clubs themselves.
Mm-hmm.
The reason the clubs aren't doing it is for reasons like Leicester City winning the Premier League against all odds. The big 6, big 10 teams or whatever it is, they're not going to want any outside influence, any other teams coming in and possibly taken away from their opportunity to win the Premier League, to be in the Champions League, to be in the Europa League or Europa Conference League. They don't want that. So they're naturally going to say, whoa, I understand where you're going with this. You want it all to be balanced and fair and equal. However, we're not going to back that.
Yeah.
That's like going to one business and saying to them, right, this business don't earn as much money as you lot because they've not got as much exposure as you lot. Would you mind dipping into your reserves and giving them a little bit of a boost, a little bunk up? What?
Yeah. It doesn't happen on the high street, does it?
No. And it's only because it's football and it's something that we all love and we're all passionate about that we kind of, I don't expect or hope that the bigger sides would do enough to help out the lower league clubs. But again, I don't think it should be down to the clubs. I think it's down to the FA. I think it's down to the EFL or the Premier League to decide. To decide that.
Have an independent body do it, take the decision out their hands, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Another current topic, VAR. What do you make of that?
It's good fun, isn't it? Championship's the best league in the world.
Yeah.
Do you know what, right? I've seen some games in the Championship this season. Leeds v Leicester. I saw Ipswich Southampton. I've seen what was that one? I saw one where 2 teams down the bottom. I think it might have been Sheffield Wednesday played somebody.
Huddersfield maybe the other week?
Possibly Huddersfield, yes.
Yeah, I saw that game.
And there were so many moments in that game where I was waiting for VAR to kick in. But it didn't. And the game was just flowing. And every single one of the players was like, smashed him. He gets down, holds his leg for a second, realises it's not a free kick. Up you get on with the game. That's what football is. That's what football's about. That's what I grew up. That's how I grew up watching football. And that's what I miss in the Premier League. Now you've got players rolling around. Bruno Fernandes, for example. There was a clip floating around not too long ago, right? And he got fouled, went down screaming, rolling around, holding his ankle. The game's going on around him, and then the ball comes not too far from him. He bounces up like nothing's wrong.
Yeah, I saw that.
Mate.
I know.
Yeah.
Things like that, I want them eradicated from the game. I really do. I want those players punished. Not just Bruno, but in general, players that are feigning injury. I want them punished.
In some ways, you can't really blame them because
they know they're going to
benefit.
The
from
game's
it.
going to stop eventually.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
if they went over to him and said yellow card, do that a few times, it stops, doesn't it?
Exactly.
But if they keep giving him free kicks for it, he's gonna
Keep doing it.
You're gonna
Yeah, why
do
not?
anything to gain that little extra bit you can.
Advantage in the game.
And that's just if they allow it, then okay, it's fair game then, isn't it? So
as a fan watching football decades, I've always wondered why they don't do that. Yellow card, descent, faking an injury, whatever, dive in.
Yeah.
Does happen, but not as much as it should. Surely, if they did start doing that, yes, you'd probably get a few games forfeited, wouldn't you? Not enough players on the pitch because but would eradicate it very quickly, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Eventually, the players will start looking at it and saying, right, well, behind the scenes, you get a fine for dissent. You get a fine for tactical fouls or whatever it is, right? It's written into the contracts.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got in your contract, you get a certain amount of fine, 500 quid for every, what do you want to call those diving incidents that you're getting?
Hissy
right?
fits.
Hissy fits, yeah, let's call them a hissy fit.
Petulance.
Yeah. If you get a 500 quid fine every time you get one of those, that will soon stop it from the club's perspective. Players will be like, oh, flipping heck, I've had 4 of those this. Oh, mate, I can't afford to do this for long, you know. Obviously, it all depends on the level of how much each player is getting paid. 500 quid fine to Marcus Rashford is going to be whatever.
It's a parking fine.
Exactly. But like you manage it accordingly. Again, that will soon stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the technology that's been brought into the game, goal line technology,
I like it.
Was great.
I like
there.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, you could even argue with VAR, don't call it VAR, call it an offside cam. 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, I don't mind that either.
Yeah, there are controversies around that as well. They've made some mistakes.
Yeah.
But in the main, that's okay. Goal line technology is okay. All the subjective, let's go to the man.
That's
Let's
it.
go to the man upstairs. What does
Yeah.
he think? Well, you're reffing the game. You're getting paid for it. You've got to make that decision. So that's
It's
that's
taken a
for me
little bit
to
of
stay.
it's taken a little bit of the impetus from the referees away from them. Like they've stopped making that decision, that definitive decision for themselves, because they're like, right, well, I'm not sure. He might have been offside. I'm not. Right, let me phone a friend.
Yeah,
That's what they should call VAR. Rename it Phone a Friend.
That's what we should rename it. Yeah, brilliant idea. Brilliant.
It's like you nail on the head. They let the game run because they don't want to make the decision. They think VAR will, in their ear, tell them what's going on.
Yeah, but then like when you're watching it
Yeah.
on VAR, I'm watching it from a player's perspective, and I'm like, right, well, that's not a red card because I know natural momentum takes him into that position. But I also know when you're watching it in real time, it doesn't hurt as much as he's making out. When you slow it down, holy moly, it looks like he's tried to kill the guy.
Well,
Yeah.
the one in the chest recently.
Doku
on
versus
McAllister.
McAllister.
Yeah. I mean, what's your player's view on that? I mean, it doesn't.
I think
Still looks bad, but in real time, I think he nicks the ball. And how are you going to win the ball when the ball's there?
Football's a contact sport.
Yeah.
It's a contact sport.
Yeah.
So again, like I said, I would like to see ex-pros, not myself, but ex-pros go into the VAR room to give a perspective from a player's perspective, player's angle.
Yeah.
Because we know what it's like in the moment, in real time. We know if a player's meant to do something or if he's not meant to do something. Like John McGinn, red card the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was on the halfway line, wasn't it? Follow through.
Udogi or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
All day long, red card. No hesitation. I didn't even need to see it twice. I watched it in real time and I was like, he's gone to smash him there. That's pure frustration. Send him off.
Yeah.
They've watched it back. I'm like, what are you looking for?
I know,
Yeah.
How many red cards are you thinking about giving the guy? Like, what's happening there?
10 game ban or 20 game ban.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah, so it kills the atmosphere as well. Maybe not for the red card, actually, probably more dramatic. But for a goal, the goals, it kills the game, and it's like.
Yeah.
And I've seen
Brings the
that so
atmosphere
many
on.
times as well. Like I've seen players like Ollie Watkins the other week. He scored a goal, lovely goal
Against
great,
Luton, wasn't it?
Yeah, great run, great first touch and control. Bent it around the goalkeeper in the bottom corner. Looked over to the lino. Lino's flags down. He's gone into the corner, and then boom, VAR on
Phone a
screen,
friend.
checking goal. Yeah, phone a friend, checking goal. Was it offside? Not sure. I'm going to ask my mate.
ask the audience.
Ask the audience. Yeah, 50-50.
Yeah.
But it takes away the immediate excitement and adulation that you're going to get from the fans. Or like being here, for example, I just remember scoring a couple of goals here and the explosion of excitement that came out of the fans, that's gone. It's gone. Unless you're at the halfway line, you ping a ball from the halfway line, it goes in. That's the only way really you could know you're not offside.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
You know, it's
Definitely.
mad.
Yeah, as a
Absolute
striker,
madness.
must be
Yes,
the worst thing to bang a ball in the back of the net. And
You could probably they could score a goal. You could probably pop down, get a burger, come back, and
then find out,
So it hasn't been given. Like,
Yeah.
or pucker pies.
We also spoke to Matt this year, and that was one of the things he said, because I'd imagine there's, especially with penalties as well, there's going to be things where, as a fan, you'd be like, oh, I don't know. But as a striker, you'd be like, oh, he's left his leg in there for the goalie to catch him.
Yeah.
it's probably not a penalty. So that would be. I think that's a really good idea to get an ex-pro in
Definitely.
there to help with those decisions.
If you know any.
Does that sound
So if you want to sign, Jermaine,
No, not for me.
sitting in a trailer in the car park,
we just do it from your house, innit? For one of friends. We're gonna go to Jermaine in his house. Is it
up.
Did he mean it? He's like, yeah.
Here, sweetheart, I'll have a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Just about to go on screen.
Great. So that's VAR. Another hot topic is the European Super League. It was tried, wasn't it? Or not tried. It was muted in the media. A few clubs agreeing, a few clubs not. They've dipped their toe in with it a little bit. Do you think it's an inevitability?
I think it's an inevitability, but not in the way that they're trying to bring it in. The way they did it initially was, well, we are the big teams, so everything revolves around us. We're going to have our own little tournament and nobody else. Leicester City winning the Premier League, even though you've won it, you're not invited to our party. Mm-hmm. That's crap in reality, in hindsight. That's crap. There will be some level of this Super League, but to what extent the big teams will have, what powers the big teams will have, I don't know. But there'll be some kind of change. Yeah. We've seen it with Formula One, we've seen it with tennis, we've seen it with golf.
Yeah,
you know, it's going to happen. Like people look.
Do you think
there are certain people that want to see something slightly new, a little bit fresh?
Yeah,
new ideas. I don't.
Yeah,
I love the format that we've got now. I love seeing teams like Everton creeping in, getting that last European spot, and playing European football next season. I like that idea.
West Ham winning
the Europa League.
Yeah,
mate, that's what makes football for me.
Yeah.
The unknown. But when you've got teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, you've got Inter Milan, AC Milan, there's only going to be certain teams that win it every single time. How long until that's boring and everybody switches off? Because I could see it being 3-4 years max. And then everyone be like, oh, well, we've seen this show before.
Yeah. I don't know how, because obviously if you put all the massive clubs together, eventually some of them are just going to turn into mid-table or relegation clubs, assuming there wouldn't be any relegation or... if for Real Madrid fans, if they were finishing bottom of the Super League every year, I don't think that would be beneficial to them or help their club status. They can only be, one or two winners. So eventually there'll be like a shuffle in the pack. And, is it worth leaving the Premier League to be a mid-table Super League club?
Depends which team.
Yeah, I suppose. yeah, that's it.
No, it's not, in a nutshell. But again, I don't think that's something they thought about. I think they're only looking at the here and the now, the short term, the financial gains off the back of it. Like Italian football, financially, over the last few years, they've had major issues with corruption and this, that, and the other. Spanish football, major issues with the financial elements. Again, not too far off what's happened in Italy. Germany is interesting for me. I actually quite like what they do over in Germany. The
51% fan owners, something like that. Yeah.
51% fan ownership. Season ticket prices frozen a certain price, but they're achievable.
Yeah.
So you see great atmospheres in a lot of the stadiums. They're not trying to fleece their fans.
Yeah.
At all, really. Mm-hmm. I quite like it.
Saw some stuff around Fulham and the prices they might be charging for their new stand, I think it is. And they're,
it's London.
London prices, isn't it?
It's London.
There's always a premium,
There's always a premium.
Yeah. Thanks for watching part 2 of our 3-part series with Jermaine Beckford. Please do remember we are dropping a 3rd episode with Jermaine. In order to find out when that drops, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. In that episode, we're going to talk about what Jermaine is up to now. Thanks for watching, and have a world-class weekend.